Bible lessons daily. Ancient truth for modern life.
Absolute wealth often functions as a high-walled prison. The more a person possesses, the further they can drift from the community around them, eventually finding themselves in a state of absolute, silent isolation. This lush green valley is ancient Jericho. 2,000 years ago, this unique geography made it a wealthy agricultural hub and a vital center of trade, a literal oasis in the middle of a harsh desert. That wealth attracted the Roman Empire, which controlled the region through a system of heavy taxation. To extract these funds, Rome hired local Jewish men, known as publicans, to collect from their own neighbors, turning them into instruments of Roman oppression. The faces stamped on these ancient silver coins represent the physical reality of that occupation. Every coin a local handed over served as a reminder of Roman control, and paying a fellow countryman felt like a total betrayal. Sitting at the top of this corrupt hierarchy was Zacchaeus. As the chief tax collector, he controlled the flow of money out of Jericho, building a massive personal fortune by taking a cut from every transaction. His house was full of gold, yet his life was empty of neighbors. For Zacchaeus, his vast wealth was the exact mechanism that created his total social isolation. The citizens of Jericho viewed Zacchaeus as a traitor who had sold out his own people for profit. In their eyes, he wasn't a neighbor. He was a thief, backed by the power of the Roman legion. Behind his untouchable public reputation, Zacchaeus was fighting a quiet battle. He had a table overflowing with food, but his soul remained unfulfilled and starving for a chance to start again. Everything shifted when word spread through the city that Jesus, the teacher and miracle worker, was passing through. Zacchaeus wanted to see who this man was, but he faced an immediate physical barrier. He was a short man, and the dense, hostile crowd was never going to yield space to the city's most hated official. Abandoning his dignity, Zacchaeus ran ahead of the crowd. He scrambled up the rough bark of a roadside tree, a desperate act for a man of his status and authority. When a man of absolute power risks public humiliation to climb a tree, he proves he has reached a breaking point where hope matters more than his reputation. Down on the street, the environment was chaotic. The noise and dust of the pressing crowd followed Jesus as he moved through the city. To gain a vantage point, Zacchaeus utilized the structure of this specific tree, a sycamore fig. Its thick, low branches and dense canopy made it easy to climb and provided an ideal place to hide. Zacchaeus settled into the leaves, intending to observe the teacher, while remaining completely invisible to the angry neighbors below. As the crowd approached, Jesus didn't simply pass by with the flow of the masses. He walked with a deliberate pace, drawing closer to the exact tree where the tax collector was hiding. Zacchaeus mistakenly thought he was on a covert mission of surveillance. He had no idea that his hiding spot was about to become the center of the entire city's attention. Jesus stops dead in his tracks, directly beneath the sycamore fig. He looks up into the dense leaves and calls the man by name. "Zacchaeus, come down." The crowd expected a harsh public rebuke. They wanted to see the traitor punished for his greed, but instead they witnessed an invitation. Jesus announced he would stay at Zacchaeus' house that very day. Shocked by the call, Zacchaeus scrambled down the branches in haste, his heart pounding as he received his guest with joy. Redemption arrived by choosing the city's worst offender as its prime candidate, disrupting the logic of everyone standing in that street. The backlash from the neighbors was immediate. They murmured in disgust, unable to understand why a holy teacher would choose the company of a corrupt thief. In response to this grace, Zacchaeus stood up and made a radical commitment. He pledged to give half of his total possessions directly to the poor. For those defrauded, his restitution looks like this chart. The law of Moses required double repayment, but Zacchaeus promised 4 times the amount. This multiplier demonstrates a complete internal shift, defined by aggressive generosity exceeding the law. Zacchaeus' encounter manifested as a permanent public redistribution of his life's work, proving that genuine change always produces tangible results in the real world. Jesus closed the encounter with a clear mission statement. He came specifically to seek and save those who were lost, focusing his attention where the need was greatest. This story provides a framework for personal transformation that begins with humility. Like Zacchaeus, we have to climb down from the things we use to hide our vulnerabilities and protect our pride. It continues by embracing a new identity. Zacchaeus refused to let his past failures or the labels his neighbors gave him dictate his future. Finally, change requires practical amends. An apology is a starting point, but true restoration involves taking concrete steps to uplift those who were harmed and rebuild what was broken. The same Savior who called Zacchaeus by name is calling ours today. The choice is whether we will remain in our tree of pride or come down and answer the call to restorative grace.
What lesson spoke to your heart today? Tell us in the comments and subscribe for daily Bible wisdom.